Greed is God. Now, that's a title designed to make you stop and think, right? I mean, isn't greed supposed to be one of the 7 deadly sins? Today, we're diving into a perspective that just completely flips that whole idea on its head.
But before we get into the wild ideas, let's start with something we can all recognize. Sadhguru tells this story about a man whose friends brought him for help. He'd lost a ton of money on the stock market, and his net worth had just plummeted from hundreds of millions down to only $50 million. And because of that, he wanted to end his life.
And that story right there just nails the whole paradox of desire, doesn't it? We spend our entire lives chasing after stuff, totally convinced it's going to make us happy. But even when we get it or get close, it seems like misery is always waiting right around the corner. So what is going on here?
All right, so let's first cackle the way we usually think about this stuff, what we can call the misery of more.
You know the drill. From spiritual teachers to philosophers, the advice is almost always the same. Just rein it in. Be happy with what you've got, want less, and you won't suffer as much. It's basically a philosophy of containment.
And then, bam. This is where Sadhguru just throws a massive curveball into the whole conversation. He argues the exact opposite. He says the problem isn't our greed. The problem is that our greed is just too small, too stingy. Instead of trying to contain our desire, maybe we should make it limitless.
Okay, wait, how can more greed possibly be the solution? That sounds crazy, right? Well, it all comes down to understanding that, according to this way of thinking, there isn't just one kind of greed. There are actually two.
So on one hand, you've got what he calls stingy greed. And yeah, this is the one we all know. It's all physical, seeking more things, more money, more power. And it's naturally limited and causes conflict because, hey, if I have it, you don't. But the alternative is ultimate greed. This isn't about physical stuff at all. It's a spiritual drive for boundless expansion. It's inclusive. It's not about wanting a piece of creation. It's about wanting the source of creation itself. And this is such a perfect way to picture it. We're totally reframing what desire even is. It's not about piling up more stuff. That's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. No, it's about tapping into that deep, fundamental human longing to just be more than we are right now. See, the big problem with that stingy greed is that you're trying to achieve a boundless feeling through very limited physical things. Sadhguru has this great analogy. It's like trying to reach the concept of infinity by just counting. You can start 1, 2, 3, and you can keep going for your entire life. But you will never, ever get there. You'll just become the counting itself. You're seeking this unlimited expansion in these tiny, finite pieces, and that's a game you can never, ever win. It's just exhausting and, well, pointless.
Okay, so if endless counting is a dead end, what's the alternative? Well, that brings us to our next idea. Greed is the goal. And there's a great story that really clears up where we tend to go wrong.
So there's this poor man who needs money for his daughter's wedding, and he asks the king for help. The king, being a bit cruel, tells him he has to stand in a cold lake all night long to get a reward. Somehow, the man does it. When the king asks how, the man says he just focused his mind on the warm lamps burning in the palace. So what does the king do? He denies him the reward, claiming he cheated by drawing warmth from the lamps far away. And here's the kicker. We're all that man. We're standing out in the cold, trying to draw warmth and joy from all these external things, a promotion, a new relationship, a fancy car, as if they are the source of the warmth. It's like we're trying to do long-distance cooking, as the source calls it. But here's the thing. The man couldn't actually pull warmth from those lamps, and in the same way, we can't just squeeze joy out of the world. Joy doesn't exist in things. It's an internal state. It's a quality that you have to create within yourself, not something you buy from the outside. And this is what leads us to the biggest, most ultimate expression of greed, which, believe it or not, is spirituality. It's the desire for absolutely everything. It's a longing so total that you're not willing to settle for just a small piece of life. You want the very source of life itself. Now that is unbounded greed.
So, what on earth does this actually look like in our daily lives? Well, that brings us to our final section, playing the ultimate game.
The big shift here is to stop thinking of desire as this desperate, compulsive need you have to satisfy. Instead, think of it like a game you choose to play. You set a goal out there for yourself and you run after it, not because your survival depends on it, but because it's the game you've decided to play.
Think about a huge soccer match, like the World Cup final. For those 90 minutes, the players are giving it everything, like their lives depend on it. That's pure intensity. But the moment that final whistle blows, the game is over. They know how to turn it off. The same goes for desire. Play with absolute, total intensity, but never, ever let your fundamental happiness depend on winning or losing. Once your inner well-being is taken care of, you are free to play any game you want, without any fear.
In the end, this isn't about becoming weak or passive. It's the exact opposite. A feeble, half-hearted life can't really love. It can't truly blossom, and it certainly can't reach for higher states of consciousness. To live a full, roaring life, your desire has to be absolutely limitless.
And that leaves us with one last question to chew on. If you really stopped being so stingy with your own greed, if you just took off all the limits and let yourself want absolutely everything, what would you truly ultimately seek?